9 p.m. and we are live and on the air. This is Danny from Swerve Church, and I'm here to answer some of your questions over here on this camera. You guys over here can't see it, but you guys over here on Periscope, I will be answering some questions. I want to talk a little bit about Swerve Church, which is a new church that's coming to Bushwick in Brooklyn. And so I just want to use this as an opportunity to cast some vision, tell you guys a little bit about it, and answer some questions. Same with you guys that are at home watching this broadcast live. Real quick, before I get into anything officially, I just want to let you guys know that you can answer your question. You can ask your questions rather if you send on Twitter, on social media. If you hashtag Ask Swerve Church, I'll be checking that out periodically and try to answer some of your questions here. You can also submit over, those of you that are watching this via the YouTube link or Google Hangout, you can go ahead and ask your questions via the chat over on the side. Periscope, you guys already know what to do for Periscope, okay? So go ahead and ask your questions as I go about talking. I'm hoping that everybody is seeing this. Let me just double check real quick before I get into this. Let me see if I can head over. The website, guys, by the way, is swervechurch.com/FAQ. You can watch it there. Let me just make sure that it's going through. One moment, it's working, guys. So you should be .com/FAQ. And then, of course, you guys on Periscope, you guys are experts. You already know what to do. And it's a new social media, but it's working out. It's working out great, and it has a lot of great uses, and it's a great way to interact and ask questions, so on and so forth. So let's get busy. It's already 9:02. We're 2 minutes in. Again, if you have any questions, you can hashtag Ask Swerve Church. I'll be checking that periodically and making sure I get any questions there. Periscope, you guys already know how to comment and ask your questions via Periscope, and then on the Google Hangout page, you guys already know what to do, and you can go over to the chat and over on the side, and you can ask your question there, and I'll try to answer some of those questions. All right, so officially, guys, let me just welcome you guys to this little chat and this little discussion about Swerve Church and mission, vision, and values, where we're going, what we're doing, why we're doing this, and all that stuff. So let me welcome you guys. Thank you so much for taking out some time. I promise not to take too much of your time. We'll keep it short and brief. I'll try to cut to the nitty gritty and try to answer some of your questions. And hopefully, by the time it's all said and done, you'll have some sort of an idea of who we are and where we're going. So thank you once again for taking out this time to listen to me and to hear a little bit about Swerve Church. Let me introduce myself. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Danny Torres, and I'm the lead planter of this church, Swerve Church, which is going to be planted in Bushwick, Brooklyn. I have a lovely wife, Melissa, and 3 beautiful kids. One of them is right here next to me. Periscope, you can't see him. Google Hangouts, you can. That's Junior. And then I have Christian and Melody. And so we have our hands full. We're very busy with our kids. We love them dearly, and we have a wonderful family. And so that's about it, man. We're planting Swerve Church in Bushwick, Brooklyn. I'm originally from Bushwick, born and raised, and I'm living there now, going about planting this church. And so by the end of this conversation, I just really hope that you have some sort of a clear understanding of who Swerve Church is, what it is exactly that we're doing, why we're doing it, and who exactly we are attempting to reach. Again, if you want to ask questions, Google Hangout over on the right side, Periscope. You already know what to do to ask your questions. Go ahead and add those comments. Let me make sure that that's enabled on Periscope. All right, yep. So you guys have your chat box that you can go ahead and ask your questions and all that. All right, so let me start off by telling you a little bit about this church plant. The name of the church is Swerve Church. Our mission is very simple, and it's to lead people to become fully devoted followers of Christ. This has been the mission of the church ever since it was first founded by Jesus, is to lead people to become fully devoted followers of Him, to lead people to become disciples of Christ, to learn who He is. And that's really our main mission, just to introduce people and to give people the best opportunity and the best resource, the best way to be able to let them know about Jesus Christ and the hope that's found in Him. And so that's our mission, plain and simple: lead people to become fully devoted followers of Christ. Well, our vision is really to plant a life-giving, gospel-centered church in the community of Bushwick. Gospel-centered, guys, very, very basically put, is that it's founded around Jesus Christ Himself. It's founded on Christ. And so it's very important for us that this church is founded on Christ. It's based around Him, and it's all about Jesus. It's very important. So it's gospel-centered in that sense, but it's life-giving in several ways. Life-giving in that we're praying to see people's lives change, forever changed by the power of the gospel and the saving message of Jesus Christ. Life-giving in that the church can actually be a fun place to go. Now, I know growing up for me, church was always kind of a boring place to show up, or it was always like kind of the traditional thing to do, or you just kind of went on Easter and Christmas only, and you had certain expectations of what church was going to be like. And for you, perhaps it was probably a very boring place. The relationships were probably very stiff and probably not very real or strong relationships. But I believe that it can be a fun place in that, man, the relationships are key and they're strong, and you're really growing together. And that it's actually like a place that you want to look forward to going. It's not a drag, okay? So I don't want church to be a drag. The music can be great, and the messages can be relevant, funny even, and relatable. And so church can be a fun place to go. And lastly, man, we ultimately want to see more churches planted. That's really my heart's desire, to plant more churches throughout Brooklyn, especially throughout New York City, to plant more life-giving, gospel-centered churches. All right, so that's pretty much our vision, to plant the life-giving, gospel-centered church in the community of Bushwick. If you have any questions about that, guys, feel free to go ahead and ask away. All right, what do we value? In a nutshell, guys, what we value is we love God, we love people, and we love to serve our community. And that's kind of the big three main things that we want to stand for and that we want to be known for. We're a new church plant, and so we want to keep things as simple as possible, and we want to just make things just very easy for us as we walk through the process of planting this church. And so we're not going to have a ton of focuses. Our focus is very simple. We're going to love God, we're going to love people, and we're going to serve our community. So love God in worship, right? We love God in the study of His Word. We're going to love people by the relationships that we build and how we get them plugged into the church and serving. Hey, over there on Periscope, hope you're doing well. And so we're gonna love God in our worship, our devotion. We're gonna love people, getting them plugged into small groups and really loving and caring for the person as a whole, and then serving our community. This is so huge. The driving question to me is this: if the doors of your church were to close, would people miss it, right? And so that's the driving question for me as far as I'm concerned. And I really want to make sure that our church has a burden for the city that it's in, and that really desires to see life change, but also to be able to be a help and to serve the community that it's in. And so we do this in a variety of ways. Man, just last week we were hanging up basketball nets. So if you live in Bushwick, you're from Bushwick, and you've been to Bushwick Playground or IS 291 Park, or you've been to Hextra Playground or any of these places, and you see that there's basketball nets, that's us. And that's just a very simple way for us to be able to serve our community and to tell them that we love them. We'll go hang up nets and we'll give away waters and whatnot and just serve our community that way. We were able to give away 357 lunches last week, and we had hot dogs and with a juice, and we had some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and all that. And just, again, a very simple, tangible way to love and serve our community. So again, what do we value, man? We value our relationship with God. We value our relationship with others, and we value our community and how we serve them. All right, so love God, love people, and serve our community. So let's just recap real quick. Our mission is to lead people to become fully devoted followers of Christ. Our vision is to plant a life-giving, gospel-centered church in the community of Bushwick. Okay, and the things that we value, man, we love God, we love people, and we serve our community. Those are the three things. So if you guys have any questions, I'm going to recheck the hashtags over here and see if I can see if anybody asked any questions on the hashtag. And feel free to go ahead and ask away if you have any questions. All right, looks like we're good over there. Check on the Google Hangout Periscope. You already know what to do if you guys want to ask any questions on the church. So one of the most common questions that we get asked is why the name Swerve Church, and people assume that it's automatically because we just want to be cool and we want to have a cool name. That's not the truth. It may have some swag to the name, you know, because it's kind of cool like that. It is Swerve Church, all right, but that's not the reason. The definition of swerve is an abrupt change in direction, and that's really what we're praying to see in people's lives in our community. You know, in the book of Matthew, it talks about the wide road and it talks about the narrow road. And what Jesus teaches is that there's many people on that wide path, right? Because it's an easy path for people to get through. It's an easy path for people to walk on, but ultimately that wide path leads to destruction. And so Jesus' intention is to try to get people off that wide path and onto the narrow path that ultimately leads to life in him. And so that's what we want to do, man. Swerve, abrupt change in direction, take you off of that wide path onto the narrow path, which leads to life in Christ. And so that's why that's where the name Swerve Church comes from. Okay, I see a question over here. Yeah, so why Bushwick? That's a great question. Why are we planting a church in Bushwick anyway? Out of all the places that we could plant the church, why choose Bushwick? All right, so let me tell you first, I'm from Bushwick, right? I was born and raised. My parents brought me home after the hospital on the Heart and Bushwick Ave, and that's where they raised me. Since then, I moved around a little bit. So we were always in North Brooklyn. We moved to the Marcy projects over in Bed-Stuy. We moved into Ridgewood, and then we were back on Bushwick and Montrose, which is really that East Williamsburg, Bushwick border. And now I'm full circle, almost in the very heart of Bushwick is where we live now with the family. And so, yeah, I've always had a heart for where I was brought up and where I lived. And so one of the reasons is just because this is where I live. This is what I know. I know Bushwick. I know the people there. I know the culture because I am Bushwick. And so that's one of the reasons. But other than that, man, Bushwick is not even 2 square miles, but it's home to over 120,000 people. And so if you want to talk a place that has a lot of people to reach with the hope of the gospel, man, Bushwick is that place. 120,000 people there. It's incredible. It's really full of a ton of people, a lot of people that we can reach. It's highly influential. As many of you know, man, Bushwick is rapidly gentrifying. And so the Bushwick of today is not the Bushwick of a few years ago. It's gone through some changes. And so now it's kind of a hot spot, and it's got a lot of attention on blogs, and it's got a lot of attention on news articles and whatnot. But honestly, according to some reports, Bushwick is still the 7th most impoverished neighborhood in New York City. All right, so that means it's not a very rich neighborhood, though it's rapidly changing and going through the effects of gentrification. In fact, Vogue called Bushwick the 7th coolest neighborhood in the world. All right, so how do you go from the 7th most impoverished neighborhood to the 7th coolest neighborhood in the world? Well, it speaks a ton to the cultural and social kind of differences that we see in the neighborhood. And so, yeah, so there's that dynamic that we as a church, we're wrestling through and trying to deal with. And obviously the displacement that we see as so many families suffering through, man, is no good. But we love the diversity. The gospel calls me to love people regardless of skin color, regardless of background and upbringing. And so, man, we love everybody that's coming in. So that's great. I got another question that came in here. How can I get involved? All right. So Swerve Church is a new church, and we haven't fully launched yet. We don't have weekly services just yet. But there are several ways that you can get involved, okay? We are doing several outreaches throughout the summer. We've done them already, a few of them, and we've had a great time, a great turnout. Really been able to to be able to serve our community and to be able to love on them. So, excuse me. So you're welcome to join us at any of those outreaches. Okay. The website is a good resource. Facebook is a good resource. For those of you that don't know, the website is swervechurch.com. It's a good resource. It's a good place to know what's coming up next, what events are coming, and how you can get involved. Definitely visit the website. The Facebook page is always up to date, and we always put what's coming next and what you can do to get involved. So this Saturday, very practically, if you want to get involved, if you want to meet me, if you want to meet the family, if you want to learn a little bit more about Swerve Church, this Saturday we'll be at a closed block on Cooper in Bushwick. And so if you want more details, feel free to email me, Danny@swervechurch.com. Very simple, Danny@swervechurch.com. Send me an email, and I would love to. Yeah, that's a great question. So that's wonderful. Any specific prayer requests for the church? Thank you for asking that question. Yeah, here's the specific prayer request. As we go about just trying to really form the church and get our identity and really serve and love our community, I would love it if you can join us in praying for more hands, for more people to join the launch team and to take part and to want to be a part of what God is doing in Bushwick. And so, really, man, for God to send those laborers, that's really the prayer request. The Bible says that the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few, and that's really our case in Bushwick. There's plenty of work to be done. There are not many laborers willing to get their hands dirty and lay down the foundation and the difficulty that it is to start a church and whatnot. So please, could you please pray for laborers, man, to join and to be a part of this church and get it started? That's a great one. Thank you for that question. All right, so back to how can I get involved? Yeah, man. So this Saturday we have a block party. You're more than welcome to pass by. Again, email me if you want some more information, Danny@swervechurch.com, and that's a great way. And I'll get you plugged in and let you know how you can help out and all that. Beyond that, we're gonna hang up some more nets in Bushwick and in parks throughout Bushwick as well. And so, nice. Sorry, guys. All right, so yeah, so we'll be hanging up more nets. That's a fun outreach. Let me tell you why. You show up to a park, right? You already know most of the parks in New York City don't have nets, at least not in the badder parts of Brooklyn. The nicer parts of Brooklyn, of course, they got nets. Bushwick and East New York and stuff, we don't have any. And so, man, we just go as a church to serve our community, serve the kids in a practical way, man. We just show up, we hang some nets, we bring the ladder, we donate the nets, we hang them up, we'll put a sticker on the backboard, just letting you know that Swerve Church is loving on the community by hanging those nets. We'll come with a cooler of waters, and we'll give out the waters to whoever's there, whoever's bowling or skateboarding or whatever, and just hand out the waters to the people. We'll bring some fruit snacks or granola bars, something along those means, just to love and serve on the kids and the families that are there. And in the past, we've even brought some brooms and some dustpans, and we'll love on the community by cleaning up the park while we're there. So yeah, swervechurch.com and the Facebook page is a great way, guys, to get involved and to learn a little bit more about that. So I would definitely have you check that out, and there'll be more opportunities. Beyond that, guys, honestly, man, I want to meet you, okay? If you want to get involved and you want to learn more about the church, maybe you want to pick my brain, or you want to hear even more detail, the vision and values and where it is we're going and what we've done so far, then honestly, guys, I want to meet you, okay? I want to take you guys out for a cup of coffee. So please, yeah, let me extend this invitation to you. Allow me, guys, to treat you to a cup of coffee, and I would love to take you guys out and share a little bit more with you guys on how you can get involved. Pretty soon we're going to be starting some more regular gatherings, and so the summer is a great time for barbecues, and so we'll be doing more barbecues. We love to go to Irving Square Park to do that, and so those of you that want to get involved, it's another great way to hear a little bit more about the church, get to know me and the family, and to get involved that way. All right, very practically, another way you can get involved, guys, is by giving. All right, this does not happen on its own. Money doesn't grow on trees, just like Mama said. What she said was right. It doesn't grow on trees, but you can help us to get this started, man. You can go to swervechurch.com/give, and that's a great way to go and to be able to help us and to help serve the church and to get it started. You guys can definitely go go to that website and help us get it started that way. Okay, swervechurch.com/give. Man, thank you for leading the way with the rational generosity and helping the church get started. All right, you can join the launch team. That's what I was talking about before over the prayers over on Periscope. Thank you for that. Thank you for that question. We need people to join the team to get it started, man. So we have a great group of people that are helping us get started now, but we can always use more. Let me tell you a little bit more about the launch team. The launch team is basically a group of people that have the desire to see Swerve Church launch strong and healthy. That's it. That's their desire. That's what they're praying for. That's what they're giving towards. That's what they're showing up at events and serving for. Their desire is really to see a healthy church planted in Bushwick. And so joining the launch team is a great way to do that. All right. So I would love, man, if you're listening to this and you would like to be a part of the launch team and you want to learn more about it, man, go to swervechurch.com, fill out on the bottom, give me your email and your name. I'll get in contact with you and I'll tell you a little bit more about how you can get plugged in. All right. Again, guys, if you want to ask some questions, go ahead, ask your questions on Periscope, or you can ask your questions over here on the Google Hangout page. All right, getting involved. This is a good question. Thank you guys for asking this one. How can a church get involved? All right, let's say, you're not really interested in joining the launch team. That's more of an individual thing. As a church, how can you come on board and help out Swerve Church? Man, there's a couple ways you can do that. Number one, you can give. That's probably the easiest way that you can help us out. Swervechurch.com/give. Man, we're looking for partnerships and we're looking for churches that are able to come on board and help us partner and give toward the cause. And so if you want to do that, man, we would love the financial contribution. We're going to put it to you good use. We promise to steward it well. We promise to update you and let you know how we're using the money and how exactly we're serving the people of Bushwick. You can give. Number two, man, you can send, right? You can send some people. So past couple of weeks, we had couple churches come and they sent mission teams to come up and help us out, man. And so we've been able to, man, do park cleanups, adopt the blocks, been able to feed the homeless. We've been able to give out tons of lunches at 3 different parks. We've been able to hang up nets and give out over 200 granola bars, man, just a ton of stuff that we've been able to do with these missions teams. So, man, if you want to send your church, you have a healthy church and you want to put the church on mission and you want to send them to a place where they can serve, man, Bushwick is a great place. Swerve Church is a great place to serve and go ahead and do that. So, yeah, feel free to go ahead and send a mission team over and we'll put them to work. And we would love to partner with your church and give that opportunity, man, so that you guys can go ahead and love on the people of this community and really help Swerve Church get started and launch strong. All right, so you can give, you can send a team, and then some of you guys, man, you're gonna have a family, you're gonna have a person, a great couple, you're gonna have a great leader, and you're gonna say, man, that person's gonna approach you, and I feel like God's calling me to something bigger and better, and you're gonna tell them, man, why don't you help out this church in Bushwick? And that's another way that you can get involved, man. If that's a possibility, man, we would love to partner with someone and that way because again, the harvest is plentiful, the laborers are few, and so if that's a way that you want to get involved, you can. Again, guys, just want to remind you, you can go ahead and ask questions. I'm going to check real quick my Twitter feed and make sure there's any new questions there. And then again, you can ask me over here on the Google Hangout page or Periscope. Guys, you can ask your questions there. If you have any questions, I would love to answer that for you. Okay, so let me pull up over here. This was a great question. This was a great question that my friend Steven sent me, and I would love to ask it. This is great. Love you, bro, and all you're doing. Very proud of you. Hope to support financially in the future. Thanks, Danny, bro. I love you, man. I love you. Thank you so much, man. Your support throughout this whole process has meant so much to me, man. Super encouraging, bro. Super encouraging, bro. Look up to you, man. Thanks so much. All right. All right, here's another question. Steven. All right, this is for you, buddy. All right. For a non-believer, what are some expectations I should be aware of when attending Swerve Church on a Sunday? All right, so what are your expectations when you come in on a Sunday? That's a great question. First of all, we don't have a Sunday service, right? So that's first of all, but very soon we will be. That's our hope. We really want to eventually start weekly gathering. That's the whole point. Good question. Any time frame on a Sunday gathering? Yes. So it walks all on the same line. So thanks for asking that question, Danny. Our launch date right now is set out for March 27th. Okay, March 27th is Easter Sunday. And so we're really hoping to launch by March 27th, man. But if God would bless kind of the efforts of what we've been putting through the summer, what we're hoping to do is before we launch weekly service to be able to have some regular gatherings, maybe bi-weekly, maybe start off monthly, head into bi-weekly, do a couple preview services, and then launch out strong March 27th, do those weekly gatherings. So that's kind of the plan right now, and that's what we're shooting for. And so hopefully before then, we'll be able to do some somewhat regular gatherings. With that comes a couple of things. We got to find a venue. Okay, so venues in Bushwick are tough, man. Thank you for praying with us, Danny. And so finding a venue is tough, but man, we're currently talking to some people and having some conversations about how exactly we can partner with another church and perhaps borrow their church and use it, or try to use some other third space. So yep, definitely, man, it's part of it. But for you people that are going to come and visit us and come to the church, yeah, this is what you can expect, man. You can expect to be welcome. You can be expected to feel loved. You can expect to hear some great worship. Now, we believe strongly in leveraging technology for the sake of the gospel, hence using Periscope and Google Hangouts, because we really believe that this technology can be used to be leveraged for the sake of the gospel. And so, yeah, so you can expect definitely some use of technology as a way to be able to connect with everyone and to be able to share the gospel message as well. So you can expect some explosive worship, man, as we worship God with all our heart. Remember, we're going to love God, love people, serve our community. And so we're going to love God in our worship. And then here's what's very unique about Swerve Church is that we're a network church. So we're partnered with network churches, which is based out in Oklahoma City. And we use Craig Rochelle's sermons as a part of what we do on Sunday. So you can expect to hear a great Bible-based, Jesus-centered preaching from Craig Rochelle most Sundays. And then, of course, there'll be about 8 to 10 Sundays that you guys will hear from me. But, man, you're going to hear some great, relevant biblical teaching from Craig Rochelle via video, man, that's going to radically change your life because it did mine. And so, yeah, and so that's kind of basically what you can expect. And you can expect people that are real, all right? So, man, our desire is not to plant the church of a bunch of, yes, Craig is awesome. I agree. Craig is the best, man. He's the bomb.com. He helped me through a lot of rough times, man, personally. Maybe on another time I can share you guys my testimony about that. But Craig is awesome, and we're going to be using Craig as part of our pretty much our Sunday sermons, and yeah, he's just great, man. But what we really hope to do is to kind of have an atmosphere of I mean, you could be authentic and real. So, man, you know, everything's not cherries and butterflies, man. So, you know, you go through your difficulties, you go through your hard times, and when you come to church, and you know, we want you to be real and be able to deal with that in community. And I really believe that the gospel helps us deal with that, deal with our issues, deal with our problems, you know, via the gospel. So, yeah, man, that's kind of in a nutshell, kind of what you can expect. Let me see if I can get one more question, and then I'll let you guys go. It looks like I'm not getting too many questions. All right, let's see. This is a great question. Thank you for asking this one, Stephen. Why do we need another church? That's a great question because Bushwick has a ton of churches, and so why do we need another one? That's a great question, man. Here's why. There's lots of churches in Bushwick, many of them doing faithful ministry, and they've been doing so for many years. But the truth is that churches are slowly dying out little by little. This is very unfortunate, guys, and it hurts my heart when I see a for sale sign or for rent sign on a church building, especially in Bushwick, guys. You know, Bushwick is rapidly gentrifying. So if you see a for rent sign on the front of a church building, here's what's not going to be in there, and that's another church, okay? They're not going to rent it to another church. The likelihood is that it'll become a bar, a coffee shop, a bodega, barbershop, anything else but a church. That's just the truth, man. And so there's lots of churches that are closing. A lot of the churches that are existing are closing down, and they're losing members, or the members are slowly dying out for whatever reason. Statistically, new churches is one of the best ways to reach people. Okay, and that's because churches are started upon an evangelistic belief, upon leading people to become fully devoted followers of Christ. That's really our heartbeat. New churches come in, they're on fire to lead people to become followers of Jesus Christ, and so they have a very evangelistic bend towards them. So just automatically, they're gonna go ahead and kind of lead the way and bringing new people and new converts and baptizing new people and stuff. And so that's why we need more churches. There's many that are closing down, unfortunately. Many are dying out. And then just statistically, it's one of the best ways to reach new people by planting churches. So thank you for asking that question. That was great. I'm just going to check if there's another one that I can check. Let me see real quick that I can cover. And then I've had you guys on. It's already 9:30. Definitely, guys, if you have any questions on Periscope, go ahead and ask your question. Don't be shy. I'll try my best to answer your question. Okay, let me see. All right, this is a great question, and it's going to be repetitive. Okay, what will be different at Swerve Church than most other churches I've visited or I've been a part of? Let me just speak from my experience. Okay, this is how it's going to be different. Most of the churches I've attended have been very traditional churches, and so it's a suit and tie, a suit and tie kind of a place, and very liturgical. Stand up, sit down, sing from a hymnal, hear an organ or whatever, and so. Maybe you're kind of used to that very traditional, man. Listen, I'm from Bushwick. I speak Bushwick. I speak Brooklyn because that's where I'm from. And I want my church to reflect the borough that I'm living in. And so the truth of the matter is that it's going to look a lot like Brooklyn. Okay, so it's going to differ in the field. It's going to differ in our mission. Is in the field and the values and what we put forth. And then, of course, the whole network church aspect, guys, is very new for many people. But, man, yeah, to have these relevant, great Bible-based, funny, relevant teachings taught by Craig Rochelle on the screen might be something that you're not used to. But let me tell you, man, those Christ-centered messages, man, those gospel-centered messages are gonna touch your heart, man, and they're gonna really inspire you to live a life on mission. And it's gonna inspire you to invite other people to be able to hear this great word and to be able to be fed and to really center your life around Christ, which is really what matters. Any stories to share about what God is currently doing in Bushwick? Thanks, Elena. That's a great question. God is up to some amazing things. Let me tell you guys about last week. We had a mission team that came down and they were doing some park cleanups. I was really scared because I didn't really know what they were going to say. You know, a bunch of people show up with brooms and dustpans to a park, and what are they going to tell us? You know, so we was really scared. Really didn't know if they were going to kick us out or whatever. But man, we just showed up and we just really loved on the community as much as we could. And here's what happened: the parks department people actually approached us, and they were like, "What are you guys doing? Where you guys are coming?" They asked all these questions, and then ultimately, it wasn't to kick us out. Ultimately, it was to tell us, thank you so much, you know, for loving on the community this way. Thank you so much for serving. Thank you so much for helping us out, because of course that's their job to clean up the park. And some of these parks were completely filthy. And so, man, people were just amazed. The people on the streets, when we did adopt the blocks, asking us, why are you doing this? And then thanking us for doing this. This is just something that's never been done. They've never seen. It's never been done in Bushwick. And so they were just taken aback and just, man, one guy was sitting on his stoop and he was like, man, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm sure not a lot of people are telling you this, but I just want to thank you for cleaning up our streets. And so, man, we've had some great conversations, and man, the mission team was great. They were asking people, they wanted prayer right in the middle of the street, taking our time to pray for people and serve them at that capacity. Yeah, man, just a little bit, man, of what God is up to here in Bushwick. I'll share one more story with you guys. We did the basketball camp about 3 weeks ago or so, and we did not have a permit. I put the permit in a while ago. It did not come in. And so the camp was going to start on Tuesday and on Friday. So, man, we just took a step of faith and we showed up to the park. We had a mission team that was going to be here and help us put the camp on. And so we took a step of faith. We showed up to the park and we set everything up. And Tuesday, man, an undercover cop drove right past us, right through the park, and he didn't even stop us. There was 2 Parks Department vans parked just a couple yards away from us, and they didn't stop us. And so the day one was a real success, and it was great. We got to connect with about 30 kids. But we had to do it again the next day. And so again, the same fear kind of crept up on me, and God helped me, to do this. And I was definitely scared again, thinking that they would just shut us down. So we went by faith. We set everything up. We started shooting around. At 9:38, my phone goes off. All right, and I have an email. I open it up. It's Eddie Vargas from Parks, and he says, "Hey Danny, I had this on my desk yesterday. I forgot to get it to you, and it was the permit." And so it was a huge relief, man. God heard the prayers of so many of you. So many of you guys were praying for us. And so a lot of you guys prayed for us, and he heard your prayers, and we were able to have the permit for the last 3 days of the park. Man, I want to thank you guys that have been contributing to the church. Those of you that have been really leading the way with irrational generosity and giving to the church. Man, let me tell you, man, your dollar is going a long way in doing ministry here in the community, and to be able to love on people and serve them. And some of these people, man, probably never stepped foot in church. Most of these people don't even want to hear it, to tell you the truth. They don't want to know it. But when we're able to not let people know how much we care, but show them how much we care, man, they are able to, they're willing to listen, and they're willing to respond, and they're willing to take some time out to hear and to inquire what it is exactly we're doing. And that's because of your rational generosity. All right, so thank you so much for giving to the church. Thank you so much for your contributions. Guys, let me tell you, man, it goes a long way. Thank you so much, man. Let me stop before I start crying. Thank you guys for giving to the church. All right, so if there's not any more questions, man, I don't want to keep you here all night. Nobody want to hear me all night, that's for sure. Oh man, not even my wife. All right, so let me make sure. All right. Thanks, Danny. Oh man, Danny's the best, man. All right, so all right, guys, that's it, man. I don't have any more questions. If you guys don't have any more questions, man, I covered a lot. We're going to try to do this again more frequently. Let me just encourage you guys, if you haven't, to go ahead and give to the church if you want. swervechurch.com/give. If you want to learn more about the church, mission, vision, and values, go to swervechurch.com. Yo, if you're a visual person like I am, go to the Swerve Church YouTube page. We got tons of videos for you to check out, and you can kind of see some of the stuff that we've done already. So go ahead and do that. Click us. Make sure to like Swerve Church on Facebook. Make sure to follow Swerve Church on Twitter and Instagram. Okay, visit the YouTube page, subscribe so you can keep up to date. Swerve Church officially has its Periscope. All right, but we haven't Periscope yet, but it's there. You can go ahead and give us a follow on Periscope as well. Guys, if you have any questions that you didn't get to ask, feel free to give me an email, danny@swervechurch.com, and I'll try to get back to you that way. And then if anybody wants to learn more about being part of the launch team, okay, man, I would love to take you out to a cup of coffee. You don't drink coffee? Let's go get a hot chocolate. All right, you don't want a hot drink? Let's get you a nice coffee. You don't want that? Let's go get a slice of pizza. All right, whatever you want. Let's go out. Let's talk a little bit about what joining the launch team might look like for you. Thank you guys so much. Hey, let's do this. Before I let you guys go, if there's no more questions, let me say a quick prayer for you guys, okay? You guys on Periscope and you guys on the Google Hangout page, let me say a quick prayer. God, I just thank you for this time that you've allowed us to have to talk a little bit about the mission, vision, and values of Swerve Church. God, this vision that you've planted on my heart, and Lord, that's spread, God, to the hearts of many others, Lord, as they give and serve and love, Lord, and inquire about the church. God, I just pray, God, you would bless it. Lord, I just pray, God, that you would lead people to it, God. The harvest is plentiful. The labors are few, God. Would you send the hands that are willing to toil and labor and work, God, and to be able to lay down the foundation, God, for what it is that you want to do in Bushwick. Lord, I pray for my community. I pray for my neighborhood. I pray for my neighbors. I pray for the parks that surround me, God. I just pray, God, that you would reach and touch those people that are far from you. Lord, that you would use me, God, use my wife, use our family, God, to be able to point people to Jesus and to let them know about the hope that's in you. God, I pray for everyone that listened to us today, God. Just pray you bless them and be with them and help them, God, and that you would continue to encourage and uplift them, Lord, as they continue to walk and seek after you. Father, I pray you give them a blessed night, Lord, and you help us, Lord, as we travel home to get back, Lord. And I just give you thanks for this opportunity just to talk about you and Lord and the dreams that you've placed on our heart. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for taking our time. I'd love to stay in contact with you guys. I'll let you know about when we're going to do this again, okay? So signing off, I'm actually in Jersey. In case anybody's asking, I'm not home. I'm not in Bushwick. I'm in Jersey. That's because I was spending some time by the pool with the kids and the family, having a great time. I'm sorry if you were stuck at work. I was at the pool. But thank you guys so much for everything. I hope you guys have a blessed night, okay? Take care. Peace.
Well, there's nothing fun I can do besides sucking on my glasses. That is
Yeah.
the only thing fun. I see nothing else.